Hello, my name is James Gedge, Realtor, and here we have another real estate conversation today. Such an exciting topic, maybe, but necessary. Today we're talking insurance, and we are here with Tyler Hansen with Agent Links. We are going to get into details about homeowners insurance. Am I covered? Do I have enough coverage? What should I be filing claims on? Just a great overall topic, whether you are buying your first home or whether you have been in your home for 20, 30 years and maybe you haven't looked at your homeowner's insurance and maybe you haven't needed to use it, and that's awesome. But that day when you do, that's when you need to have addressed this beforehand. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, Tyler, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, James. So my name is Tyler Hansen. I grew up in Utah. Been here my whole life. Grew up in Salt Lake County, now live in Davis County with my family. I've got a couple kids, and I've been in the insurance industry now for 16 years.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, well, Tyler, tell us about what is homeowners insurance?
Yeah.
What is this thing
good
you
thing.
Have to have?
Good thing to have. Homeowners insurance is designed to protect your investment, right? So you bought a home, you went and got a loan for it because you didn't have all the money at the time. Homeowners insurance is designed to protect you, that if anything happens to that home, you aren't on the hook to pay for everything. It'll help kind of make you whole and rebuild your home if it burns to the ground, so you don't have to go get a second loan because those funds aren't there. So
nice.
Yeah.
That is absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Funds aren't there to cover. Well, what am I covering? How do I know if I have enough coverage?
Yeah, that's a great question, and some common misconceptions about home insurance and how much coverage you need. So with insurance, we don't insure to the market value. So you just purchased this home for $500,000. We don't need $500,000 of insurance, and the reason for that is with home insurance, we're just worried about the structure of the home. If it burns to the ground, the land's not burning, no one's stealing the land from you or anything like that, right? That's there, you've already bought it, we don't need to insure against that because nothing's going to happen to it. So we just worry about the structure, and we use a few tools to help us determine how much coverage you actually need. So we take some information about the square footage, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, any specialty features, right? If you got a home gym, theater system, things like that. Upgraded countertops. Those are all things we want to make sure are included in this estimate. And then we run it through a tool called a replacement cost estimator that says, okay, with these characteristics of this home and today's current construction costs, here's how much insurance we need. And that's where we start. That's not the end all, right? We use that as a starting point and go from there to determine coverage. And that tool is just really designed to take the market value and kind of separate the land and the home.
Okay.
So,
well, and that could lead into, you talk about rising construction costs. Everything's been going up these days. Insurance policies, are they going up?
Yeah, they are. We're seeing some changes in the insurance industry with rates for that reason. So, we have construction costs that have increased, and that filters down to insurance because, one, we repair the homes, whether it's a full rebuild or not. And so these contractors have had to pay higher wages to keep workers from chasing money at another job, right? Mm-hmm. And so that trickles down to labor. We've had building costs increase and fluctuate a lot. For example, roof shingles have in the last 3 years increased 40% alone.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty drastic, right? Everyone can expect or anticipate increases over time, but a 40% increase in a 3-year period is pretty steep.
That's going to hit you.
It's going to hit you, and that's a big part of home insurance, right? We do roof claims, and so that gets trickled down to the insurance rates as well. Insurance in Utah hasn't really changed or adjusted in 15, 20 years as far as rates and rating factors, and so inflation hit, and we've had rating factor updates, and everything kind of a perfect storm in that way. So we are seeing some big increases now. We're hoping 25 shows some leveling of those rates.
Hopefully. Well, while rates are going up, are there still ways that you can find savings?
Yeah, absolutely. So one, making sure you're not overinsured, right? We talked about, do I have enough insurance? But if you've got a $500,000 home insured for $1 million, you're overpaying for something you're never going to get. If that home burns to the ground, the insurance company's on the hook to make you whole, which is pay the $500,000 to rebuild the home. You don't get a check for $1 million, right?
Man.
I know, right? So making sure you're not overinsured is a big thing. You can look at your deductible, right? In the past, a $500 deductible was like the industry standard. That's gone, and nobody should have a $500 deductible anymore. So we should be increasing that deductible and looking at that appropriately based on the value of our home. There's discounts you can have with security systems, whether that's monitored through a central alarm company or through yourself. Right, there's things you can do with water leaks. There's sensors you can have in your home, and so things like that are something you should be talking to your agent about. Each company has different discounts that are available, and they can help you figure that out.
Almost like a health insurance company where if you go to the gym or get well checkups, you get discounts.
Absolutely.
Same thing with homeowners insurance.
Absolutely. If you're willing to put some money into the home to prevent a loss, they're willing to give a discount on that because they know they're not going to have to pay out later. Right. Same with the health insurance.
This brings me to an interesting, well, I think it's interesting because of where you try and figure stuff out.
Yeah.
When you have to file a claim, should I file this claim or should I just pay for it myself?
Good question. Sometimes the answer is both. What I tell all my clients to do, right? I tell all my clients, call me first if something happens, right? And the reason I do that is because we don't want to file a claim for something that's less than your deductible, because even though the insurance company doesn't pay anything, it can negatively impact you for a number of years, and we don't want that to happen. So kind of the process for me with when do I file a claim is I want my clients to call me, hey, this happened. We've got roof damage, we've got a water leak, whatever the issue is, call me. We'll get an expert out there, right? The person that's going to do the repairs anyway, so we don't have to guess, first of all. They can give us an estimate and say, here's what we're looking at. And then we take that information and weigh it against your deductible. Have you already had to file a claim in the past? So now we have 2 instead of 1, right? Things like that we're going to have a conversation about, but we can do it in an educated way and make that educated decision of whether it makes sense to file the claim because we have all the information at that point. Rather than filing the claim and finding out later, oh shoot, we shouldn't have filed the claim, but now you've lost the claims free discount. As well as my rate went up, like we just talked about, so I'm going to go shop insurance. Well, the new insurance company won't give me insurance because I have a claim because they just changed guidelines on their end, right? So we just want to have that conversation and make that educated decision on does it make sense or not.
Yeah, that whole should I carry that claim or not? How long do claims stick with you?
Good question. So in Utah, they're going to be on there for 5 years.
Okay.
They're going to have heavy impact for the first 3 years on your rating. Those last 2 years rating isn't as big. That's more for underwriting eligibility at that point.
Okay.
So again, it's going to affect you a lot more than a car insurance claim does, right? And that's why I want to have that conversation with my clients up front and say, and let you guys be the judge. Here's all the information. Let's make that decision.
And let's say you're going to move. Does it stick with you when you move, or the claim, or does the claim stick with the house? Yeah,
good question. Just like with a car insurance claim, if that car's totaled and goes to another vehicle, that claim's still going to follow you, right? So it follows the person, not the residence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. Talk to Tyler first. As we talk about claims, like there's some misconception as to what items get covered. There are things out there, home warranty versus homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
What does homeowners insurance cover?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm glad you brought up the home warranty because a lot of people do treat homeowners insurance like a home warranty.
Totally different.
Totally different. And they are not designed they do similar things, but they are not designed to work the same way. Your home warranty is the furnace goes out, the water heater broke, right? Those kind of things. That's your home warranty type issue. That's not a homeowner's insurance issue. Homeowners is, as we discussed earlier, designed to cover the catastrophic things, right? And so we don't want to be filing a claim for my water heater broke. 1, it's not going to be covered, and 2, you're going to now have that zero paid claim that we talked about that's going to impact you. And so we want to make sure that we're, again, making that smart decision on whether it's worth it to file that claim or not.
Okay, homeowners insurance covering the catastrophic, and what was It's not spontaneous, but
Sudden. Oh,
sudden.
yes, sudden and accidental. Yeah,
Sudden
so
and
that's
accidental.
something insurance companies are going to look for also with a claim, right? They want to see, is it something that's sudden and accidental, not something that's been going on for a long period of time, because that is a wear and tear type issue, right?
Yeah.
And those can be frustrating because sometimes they've gone on for a while and you didn't know about it because it wasn't enough of an issue to manifest itself. But when we look at the policy, they are designed for those two things, the catastrophic losses and things that are sudden and accidental is what they're looking for.
So how often should people look at their homeowners insurance and see if they're properly covered?
Yeah.
And does their policy fit their lifestyle now?
Yeah, good question. So insurance policies themselves have some safeguards built in for like inflation, right? We talked about, do I have enough? And building coverages fluctuate often. Nobody expects you to call your insurance agent every 3 days because building coverage or costs just went up, right? Or they went down and we have to adjust, right? But so
you could call them. You might just go to voicemail though.
you might if it's that often, right? But really with insurance, there's some safeguards built in, like an inflation guard. Your coverage is going to bump up gradually every year. To help keep pace with inflation. Now, we've had some drastic increases lately, and that's where the conversations need to come in, right? Or if you just finished your basement, if you upgraded your kitchen, upgraded some bathrooms, things like that, we need to make sure that that's included in the insurance so that you can be protected for that. And what people don't always realize and understand with that is, okay, I spent a lot of money to upgrade my kitchen. I don't want to put all that money back into the insurance, right? You don't have to do that. It's actually pretty cost effective to increase the insurance policy so that the insurance or the kitchen's insured properly.
Yeah, last thing you want to do, you just put in this beautiful marble countertop and then something happens to it, a flood, and your replacement kitchen is not marble, but you go back to Formica or whatever it may be.
Exactly. And that's where that conversation with your agent's, super vital, because they can tell you without making a change, you can know how much the increase is. And again, everybody's risk tolerance is different. You can make that decision with the information appropriately.
Yeah. Tyler, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to put Tyler's information, contact him on the screen and in the description. Before we go, anything you'd like to tell us about your company that you do differently from other people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a little different in the insurance world, meaning I'm a broker. And so I work with multiple different insurance companies. I'm not tied to just one. And that helps, me service you as a client, but also benefits you because if your rates go up, when that happens, typically you'll go call a bunch of different insurance companies, right? And they all want the same information. It takes time. It's really annoying. I do that for you. And I also know, because I work with most insurance companies, if one went up, I know which one just went down. And I know where to turn and look. And that's just kind of my job, and I work for you at that point. So that sets me apart from other agents.
And then you're also not covering just home.
No.
People can contact you.
Yep.
Renters insurance.
Renters insurance. I do car insurance, life insurance, business insurance. I try to be, pretty well rounded there.
Awesome. So, Tyler.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
We will see you next time.